what about pandemics? How does factory farming come into
So
that?
under this campaign banner, End Factory Farming Before It Ends Us, one of the campaigns within it is called 3 in 4. And we called it 3 in 4 because 3 in 4 newly emerging infectious diseases are what's known as zoonotic. That means they jump from animals to people. And a lot of those pandemics are caused by viruses. And so when I engaged in researching this with my colleague, Dr. Justine Butler, what we found was that already the World Health Organization and the Centre for Disease Control, they have, if you go on their website, you can find a list of diseases that they think are most likely to cause the next pandemic. And I have to tell you, it does not make for cheerful reading, because swirling around the world are already so many viral diseases that factory farming have allowed to become more virulent. And the reason that that is the case is if you can imagine a virus becoming extremely virulent so that it's deadly to its host, in a more natural setting, it would just kill, say, that small population of birds, let's say, that it's within, and that's end of virus because it's killed its hosts. So it's a way of curtailing the impact of the viruses themselves. So when human beings come along and they put hundreds of thousands of animals together on one site, the viruses literally mutate not once or twice, but trillions of times. And within those mutations, you get viruses that become more virulent, and then some viruses that can jump across to people. And of course, with H1N1, which people may have heard of by now, which is the bird flu, that has mutated very, very, very many times over the last decades directly because of factory farming. And that's the one that in the last handful of years, there have been 15,000 outbreaks on different farms across the world. So we're not talking, little examples here, we're talking major stuff. And in about 800 cases, the virus has jumped across to, I'm talking about individuals, it's jumped about 800 times to different individuals. So it keeps, the different viruses of that strain keep trying to make it across, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And when they jump to people, they're killing 60% of their hosts, over half. You think, this coronavirus at the moment in Britain, the death rate is well under 1%. Can you imagine creeping up to 2%, 10%, 20, 30, 40, 60? You're talking about the end of society completely, total breakdown, as we know it. And that is what the World Health Organization is so worried about, is one of these flu viruses. There are many different types now, by the way. One of those being able to be contagious, because the only reason it's not become a problem, it hasn't made those last few mutations to be able to be contagious person to person. It has jumped person to person, but it's not very contagious. So that's why the World Health Organization very many years ago, and I'm talking decades ago, said to every nation, you must prepare for pandemics. You must have everything in place and be able to go. And so in various parts of the world, in the 50s, 1 million people were killed by a type of influenza virus that jumped from farmed animals to people. The same happened again in the 60s, huge outbreak, but that wasn't Britain. So the British people are less well aware. We had swine flu, of course, a few years ago, which was a mutation between a pig virus, a chicken virus, and a human. So it was this triumvirate of different genes from 3 species that created the swine flu virus. Which again came from factory farming of pigs. So we know it's exceptionally dangerous, and that's again makes the whole campaign title "End Factory Farming Before It Ends Us" even more relevant.